All right, this is really good stuff. Donald Trump was confronted yesterday after voting early. I know, we'll get back to that. Donald Trump was confronted about his completely whacked out, obviously false, and widely debunked claim that Kamala Harris's recent rally crowd at an airport was AI generated and fake. It wasn't. We have the video, we have multiple angles, we have everything. Trump was asked, why did you say that? Why did you say something where it is very clear that that was not true, what you said? And Trump just kind of goes, I don't know. I don't know who was there. Completely copping out. And this is what happens when you confront these people. They find a way around where they go, well, my crowds are really big, which is exactly what Trump did.
And you said Harris's crowd sizes were AI and that there weren't people there. There's all kinds of video evidence and people who were there who have proven that false. Can you tell us about why you made that claim?
Well, I can't say what was there, who was there. I can only tell you about ours. We have the biggest crowds ever in the history of politics. We have crowds that nobody's ever seen before, and we continue to have that. We have a level of enthusiasm that nobody's seen before. They want to make America great again. That's what's happening. We're going to make it great again. Right now, we have a failing nation. We're in a failing nation.
All right, so then he goes into talking point coma. He says, I can't tell you who was there or who wasn't there because I wasn't there. But a few days ago, he had no issue at all putting out an unhinged truth on Truth Social, which had very little truth in it, claiming Kamala cheated, the crowd is fake, the crowd is AI generated. Then he's confronted about it, and he very bravely all of a sudden goes, listen, I don't know what's going on. I can just tell you my crowds are really big. I've had the biggest crowds of anybody. Number one, he's not even getting the biggest crowds of this campaign. Number two, I recall Barack Obama having pretty big crowds. And number three, I hate to go dictatorial, but there are some dictators, including in World War II era Germany, who had pretty big crowds. So I don't even know why he needs to go into this. I have the biggest crowds in history, because he doesn't. He doesn't even have the biggest crowds of this election. Who's he lying to at this point? It almost seems like he's lying to himself. Now, there were some other funny moments from this little mini press conference Trump gave after voting early. Trump, at one point, of course, opposed early voting, but he voted early, and he explains that here.
Great honor to vote. They've done a fantastic job here, and we appreciate it. We think we're doing very well. We just had a poll that shows we're doing very well, and we have an interesting couple of months ahead of us.
Now, why is Trump voting in a way that he previously said is insecure and rife with fraud and all of these different things? Well, because it's rules for thee, but not for me. Now, interestingly, many of you wrote to me and said, how is Trump even voting? He's a convicted felon. You're not allowed to vote as a convicted felon. We discussed this a little bit when Trump was first convicted. Trump's a Florida resident now. He was convicted in New York. In Florida, if you have an out-of-state conviction, as long as you would be allowed to vote in the state where you were convicted, you're allowed to vote in Florida. So Trump's allowed to vote in Florida right now because you would be allowed to vote in New York right now. But what's the New York law? The New York law is that if you are behind bars, you're not allowed to vote. So if Trump were to be imprisoned, he would lose the ability to vote in New York were he a resident. Therefore, at that point, Florida would also say, because you wouldn't be allowed to vote right now in New York, we're not going to allow you to vote here. For now, because Trump would not be barred from voting in New York by virtue of not being behind bars, he is allowed to vote in Florida. Now, one more little clip from this. CNN's Kate Sullivan asked Trump, you're saying that Iran hacked your campaign. Has the FBI actually told you that Iran hacked your campaign?
Do you have a question?
Yes, sir. What has the FBI told you about the hacking of your campaign?
Well, they're looking at it, and they're doing it very professionally, and it looks like it's Iran doing it, because Iran is no friend of mine, and, you know, a lot of bad signals get sent. But it looks like it's Iran doing it, and the reason is because I was strong on Iran, and I was protecting people in the Middle East that maybe they aren't so happy about that. So that's what it seems to be, Iran.
Is that what the FBI told you specifically, that it was Iran?
I don't want to say exactly, but it was Iran.
Did anyone actually tell you, who has any sort of semblance of authority, that it was actually Iran who hacked your campaign? Well, I don't want to say, but it absolutely was. So Trump voting early, which he said is bad. Trump saying, I don't know anything about Kamala's crowds when he posted about it recently, and saying Iran hacked me, but won't actually say why it is that that's what he believes. Basically what we would expect. Many of us have bad habits we want to kick. Finding motivation can be hard, especially when life gets heavy and the bad habit seems to be what's keeping you sane. Thankfully, Fume is here to help you prioritize your health in a way that will not disrupt your daily life. Introducing Fume's award-winning flavored air device that is quickly becoming the leading alternative to smoking and to vaping. The point of Fume is to satisfy the hand-to-mouth fixation of some of these bad habits, which makes healthy change feel even easier. The Fume device is sleek, it's sophisticated, you can fidget with it. There is no nicotine here, only natural ingredients like plant extracts and oils. There's no electronics. There's no vapor. There is an amazing selection of flavors, from the popular crisp mint to the adventurous black licorice and cinnamon hearts. Fume is delicious. It's subtle. You can keep using it without feeling overwhelmed. So start your journey today. Go to tryfume.com and use the code PACMAN to get a free gift with your journey pack, which includes a Fume device, 3 core flavors of your choice, and a cleaning kit. If you are struggling to get rid of that bad habit, try Fume. The link is in the description.